Good Friday morning, May 2nd. Anyway, in response to a couple comments left on the YouTube replay of one of my recent visits with you in the morning like this, about they'd like to know a little more, hear a little more about technical magical stuff. And I tend to kind of stay away and sort of talk about broad magical subjects, you know, these morning light things. But there's one thing I'd like to share with you this morning that is kind of the best of both worlds, and it deals with Enochian Magick per se. And one of my recent books is Enochian Vision Magic, the practical guide to the magic of Dr. John Dee and Edward Kelly. And at the very end, after more or less introducing you to not only the history and the chronology of events that led to the reception, we'll call it that, the reception of the Enochian magic system with John Dee and Edward Kelly, as sort of an introduction, a preface to how Enochian magic was then developed by the adepts of the Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley and modern magicians. And at the very, 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 very end, I have sort of like a summary review of an example of the protocol of actions that I use for a classic formal Enochian working off of an elemental tablet, going for a specific, relatively low level angel on the fire subangle of the fire tablet, and the kind of angel that it is. Let's see if I can, in the very back, this is what all these angels specialize in, okay? And this would be the fire subangle of the fire, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second, of the fire tablet. And the angel's name is ADRE. And he's among the angels whose duty, this 16 good angels who liveth in and knoweth the quality and use of all four elements. Now, as far as a general, knowledgeable, well-rounded character, angelic character, that ADRE sounds like could be a handy person for all of the elements, actually. So it's fire of fire. Okay, here is DuQuette's, and I'll be making reference to things that I covered in the very first part of the book. So some of this won't make sense to many of you, but I hope you'll get the big picture. DuQuette's Protocol for Enochian Elemental Vision Magic. The lower the angel you wish to contact, and this is a relatively low angel, okay? The very lowest one would be the angels with a one-letter name that are represented by just one square of the 156 squares on each elemental tablet. But ADRE is a servient angel, relatively pretty damn low. The lower, excuse me, the lower the angel you wish to contact is in the hierarchy of the elemental tablet, the more superior angels there are above it who must be named and addressed. You only got to be polite, okay? Therefore, for our example, I will use ADRE, Adre, we'll call him, a lowly servant angel found under the arms of the Calvary cross of the fire subangle of the elemental tablet of fire. Now, of course, I've got illustrations of big blow-up truncated pyramids and everything else. But if you just have an ace of wands, that elemental tablet of fire is represented by that ace of wands. And you see the fire, the red area there, that's the fire subangle of the fire elemental tablet. And that cross there, that white cross, that's the Calvary cross, and that contains two God names of the subangle. But right under the arms of the cross, you see ADRE. You might even stick in the I there. Some people do, some people don't. ADRE, that's the angel we're going for. So the example in this protocol is, how do I specifically call ADRE to get a vision of his powers, his qualities, his meaning, his specific meaning at any given moment to me and my life, okay? And we already know that he's helpful. All of the angels there under the arms of that cross, all of the angels are helpful for, let's see, I'll quote it again. They're helpful in knowing the quality and use of all four elements. Could be handy. Okay, therefore for all our example, I will use Adre, the lowly servient angel found under the arms of the Calvary cross of the fire subangle of the elemental tablet of fire. Part 1, Preliminaries. Before embarking on any formal magical operation, it's helpful, indeed necessary, to feel good about yourself. Therefore, I always recommend that the magician first bathe, dress in clean clothing, and operate in a clean and uncluttered space. Uncluttered space! Definitely not my office. It is also wise to formally purify and banish the area before operating. These preliminary ceremonies can be as simple or as elaborate as you feel necessary. I always begin with a simple lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram that I've customized to reflect my own taste and spiritual proclivity. A classic version of the pentagram ritual can be found at the beginning of the appendix number 1 in this book. I next perform the ceremony of preparation that's outlined in chapter 1 and in the appendix of this book. I consider this ritual an Enochian Magick temple opening par excellence, and I believe it serves to purify, banish, and consecrate both the temple and the magician in a manner that is in harmony with the universe as perceived by the Enochian angels. And that uses the holy table and the lamen and the ring and all of that. Okay. It also establishes and sanctifies the magical environment for the black mirror or the scrying stone. Excuse me. Part 2, the calls. A complete list of all 4 elemental tablets together with their traditional duties, can be found in Appendix 4 here. In order to contact any angel from an elemental tablet, one needs to first activate the tablet by intoning the proper call or calls in the Enochian tongue. The calls and the key to their use can be found in Appendix 2. Only one call is necessary if your target angel resides in the Great Central Cross. Okay, that's the big white cross that separates the four colored subangles there. Only one call is necessary if your target angel resides in the Great Central Cross. That would be one of the three great secret names of gods, or a senior or a king. So all of that. The horizontal line there. Op, Podeche, Op, Tia, Podeche. That's the three great secret names of gods. And then the seven planetary seniors spread out from the center, going up from the center, going up from the center, going left from the center, going right from the center, going down from the center, and then a swirl in the very middle. Those are the seven planetary seniors. And the swirl in the center is the sun senior and kind of king of the tablet too. Okay. Also, only one call is necessary if your target angel resides in the native subangle of the elemental tablet. In other words, the fire subangle of the fire tablet, or the water subangle of the water tablet, or the air subangle of the air tablet, or the earth subangle. So, because we're going to be working with Adre, who is in the native subangle of the elemental tablet of fire, we're only going to need one call. Okay. Told you it'd be a little technical this morning. But if your target angel resides in a non-native subangle, like earth of air or fire of water or something like that, you must also recite an additional call assigned to the specific subangle, and that's all laid out in the appendix. Our target angel is Adre, right under the arms. Adre, there. The fire subangle of fire. So we only need to recite the sixth call. Reciting the sixth call switches on the power of the elemental tablet, as it were, and puts it in standby mode to await more specific actions of the magician. So reciting the sixth call, like, turns on the initial juice. It turns on the power grid of the city. Okay. Part 3, addressing the hierarchy. Now, whether you feel it or not, and this is important, whether you feel it or not, your recitation of the sixth call has put you in an altered state of consciousness. Magically speaking, you are now present within the environment of the elemental tablet of fire. You have awakened the spiritual forces of the tablet, and they're waiting to see if you are worthy of their attention. If you can convince the spirit of the tablet that you know where you are and how you got there, they will acknowledge you as a natural citizen of their well-ordered magical universe. Once you've established rapport with its superiors, the target angel will have no choice but to be compliant and ready to open its mysteries to you. To prove your worthiness by remembering your manners, or you prove your worthiness by remembering your manners and addressing by name the angels who reign over your target angel. In the case of a servant angel like Audrey, the hierarchy is essentially the whole cast of characters. Starting from the top, we have the supreme name of fire from the Tablet of Union, Bitom. The three great secret names of God of the elemental tablet of fire, and I pointed that out. Oip Tia Podeke. Then the name of the king of the elemental tablet, that's that swirl, Edelprerna. Then the names of those 6 planetary seniors, the ones that spread out from the center. Aetpio, Adoiet, Alundud, Aap, Doke, Arena, and Anodoin. The first god of the fire tablet, then the first god name of the fire subangle. Okay, here's the subangle. Now the first god name is that white cross. It's the vertical line, Rizinir. Okay, and the second god name is Narsfm. Okay. And finally, the name of our target angel, Audrey. If the target angel is higher on the hierarchical ladder, there are fewer names to include in your little speech. For example, to call a senior, you need only use the names in step 1, 2, and 3 before calling on the name of the target senior. If your target angel is the king of the elemental tablet, you only have to use the names in step 1 and 2. But what about the cherubic angels? Now, I'll have to explain that. Now, above the arms of that little cross, that's the cherub angel. That cherub, in a sense, rules those guys down below the arms of the cross. So there's the cherub of the water tablet, and there's the cherub Dopa. Okay. Let's see, where are you? What about the cherubic angels, who, as we learned earlier, have a separate hierarchy that skips the god names of the subangle? Things aren't always that straightforward. So, in the case of the fire subangle of the elemental tablet of fire, simply replace the name in step 5 with the name of the god cherub Paziza, and replace the name in step 6 with the name of the cherub Ziza, Izaza, Zazi, or Azi. It's as a child could. Actually, it's simpler than it sounds. But we're going to make this particular example less complicated. Calling your target angel. Repeat out loud the name of the target angel, Audrey, several times. State why you have called it, ask your question, and or make your request, and sit quietly and scry. If necessary, repeat the call to induce a deeper state of mind. If you wish, have a tape recorder running and describe your vision as it unfolds. Don't tire yourself. after all of the preliminaries, you are sort of buzzing and a little tired. Grab your vision while you can, but don't tire yourself. Conclude your visionary business at the first signs of fatigue. Thank the angel and formally close the session with a banishing ritual of your choice. Step 5 is write it all down. Immediately transcribe everything into your magical journal. I mean everything: the date, the time, the weather condition, astrological aspects, if you know them and care about such things. And if you think there is nothing to report, write that down, along with your thoughts of why things might not have worked. Sample of a hierarchical invocation. That's how I'll close it. The invocation below is what I currently use to acknowledge and invoke the hierarchy of the elemental tablet. I will provide the English translation of it first, so you'll know what it is saying. You may easily customize your own by referring to the Enochian dictionary. With the elemental tablet before me, okay, I usually have the big truncated pyramid, but if I'm in a hotel room and all I have is my tarot cards, I just whip out my Ace of Wands and lay it down in front of me, because that's the elemental tablet I'm working on in this example. I wave my wand or my finger over the squares that spell it out. I invoke, and I do this in the angelic language, but I'll do that in a second. I invoke and move thee, O thou spirit, whatever the target angel is. And being exalted above you in the power of the Most High, I say unto you, come forth and obey. In the name of, and then you give the supreme name from the tablet, Exar Pakamanata Batum, the tablet of union, then the 3 great secret names of God, in the name of the king of the element, in the names of all 6 seniors, okay, and then from then on down, in the name of this, in the name of that, in the name of that, I invoke and move thee, O thou spirit, whatever your name is. And here's what it would sound like in the Enochian language. Ol venu odzukam ilske, whatever. Od lans vorji yad gohus pujo ils niso odarbs. Do-yap, this name, do-yap, that name, do-yap, that name, do-yap, that name, do-yap, that name, till you get all the way down. Ol venu odzukam ilske, the name of the angel. After all of that, you sit quietly and watch what goes on as you sit there and buzz, okay? And you do sit there and buzz in a very specific way. Anyway, that's very technical. I hope that satisfies, at least temporarily satisfies somebody that wanted a little more technical, magical stuff. And again, that's from the damn good book, Enochian Vision Magic, the practical guide to the magic of John Dee and Edward Kelly. And it's got a foreword by my friend Jason Louvre, okay? So until tomorrow in Saturday morning cartoons, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.